You need a main in Smash Bros. Smash Bros is an incredible game for so many reasons. But in my opinion, what makes it the best is its characters. With a roster of 90, the variety is immense. However, with so much to choose from, players often get stuck on the selection screen. By the end of this video, you will know why you absolutely need a main. When I was learning to play Smash around 6 years ago, I was really struggling to find a character that suited me. And that is what we refer to as a character crisis. And it seems like everyone that plays this game ends up having one at some point. But this is exactly what's holding you back. There's simply too much content in this game to have more than a couple characters in your pocket. Think about this situation I had just the other day. Generally, bridges are pretty easy to hit on Palutena, and I know that, so right here I'm looking for a grab. Sometimes a down tilt will be true in this scenario, however in this situation I wasn't confident in it, so I tried to read a roll away. Instead, Palutena decided to hold shield, allowing me to get an easy grab. I know that Palutena doesn't want to go off stage, so I'm going to guess that she's going to DI away. From there, I perfectly place a handful of up airs, and finally confirm it into a double jump up air and then a falling down forward air, which netted me the kill in this scenario. Not convinced? Here's another scenario. Luigi will try to cyclone out of my back air, so I have to go for an IDJ up air. Now that Luigi is off stage, I'm immediately going to be looking for an air dodge. In order to position myself to punish this though, I go for a ledge trump just in case he tries to air dodge to ledge, but he neutral air dodges, netting me a back air. When you hit a falling bear like this, your opponent's put in a pretty precarious situation. It can either jump into the thunder or get hit by the thunder. Here, he just decides to get hit by the thunder, and that's going to be a kill. Without my knowledge of Pikachu's toolkit and the combos he has at his disposal, I probably wouldn't have been able to net a kill there. But with a lot of time on the character, I was ready for this situation, and much more like it that I didn't get to show here in this video. In short, if a similar situation had come up when I was playing as someone else, I simply wouldn't have gotten the most out of it. The small things really matter here, and your muscle memory will pick up on them automatically, allowing you to eventually be consistent and confident even under immense pressure, relieving the mental load of having to think about what your character can even do in the first place. Knowing the hitboxes and hurtboxes of every character will give a character specialist the leg up every time. Punishes are also massive here. If you know your opponent is going to be making a mistake, you have to know how to get the most out of every situation to get the optimal damage and put yourself in a good position to win. And definitely one of my favorite things, developing a play style. Your main shapes how you think about the game. Spacing, aggression, patience, risk. That identity you have within your character definitely matters. In short, having a main will allow you to allocate your time effectively into learning the game from the eyes of your character. In no time, you'll be able to see measurable results. Take my friend Callie here. A couple of months ago, he was really struggling to get results. Then, all of a sudden, he became one of the best players in our sub-region. So I asked him what his method was to achieve that. Here's what he said. I'm always asking for advice, and I try to focus on one thing at a time. Another thing he said was the biggest piece of advice he can give was to make his advantage states as replicable as possible. That doesn't come from playing a ton of characters and figuring things out on the fly. That's just not realistic. Okay, great, we've established why we need to have a main in Smash Bros. But the question is, how do I break out of a character crisis? I think the easiest way to break out of a character crisis is to find your reason. If you were to ask any good Smash player how they ended up with their main, you get a lot of different answers. Not everyone will be so fortunate to click with a character. No, this can be a difficult process that requires deep thinking. Maybe their character is from their childhood favorite game, or they just think the character looks cool, appealing, or even just funny. Others will often choose purely based on in-game characteristics, like combos, flashiness, if they have a sword or not. Are they fast? Are they slow? Do they hit like a truck? Maybe that character has obnoxious 0 to deaths that can be funny at times. Maybe they just want to win games. Or I think the best reason, they just have fun with said character. All of these things are reasons. You need to consider them and decide what's most important for you. Remember, this game is supposed to be fun, so don't let yourself get bogged down or disheartened. For me, it wasn't straightforward at all. When I started playing the game, I played Bowser. He was easy enough to pick up and help me learn the buttons. Immediately after this though, I wanted something a little bit more fast-paced. It fit my personality better, so I ended up playing Pikachu. But my Pikachu struggled a little bit, and I was struggling to find kills and do the difficult combos. So I switched to Joker, as Arsene can sometimes just delete stocks for nothing.
Game!
I promptly realized that this style of play wasn't meant for me, so I switched over to Falco, so I could learn some cool combos without it being too difficult.
Set. Literally in every situation he can, he's been using walking to kind of reposition himself for just better opportunities to get in on Angel.
Tildy said I'm not done with you
Oh,
yet.
that's it! That's the set!
After playing Falco for a little bit, the Sephiroth trailer dropped, and I didn't even know who he was, but I thought he looked really cool. So I played Byleth to prepare for him coming out, and then I played him on release for about a year and a half. But even after playing Sephiroth for a year and a half, I realized that it just didn't fit my personality. I like more of the fast-paced characters, ones that do big combos and look very flashy. So I decided to go to the extreme opposite and play Sheik. After playing Sheik for a small amount of time, I realized that this character was just too difficult for me. So I switched over to Pikachu. Pikachu means everything to me. I really enjoy expressing myself through my evasive, combo-heavy playstyle that's fast-paced. To put it simply, I just really enjoy the way he plays. See? Not so simple. However, because of my experiences, I ended up in a fantastic place. I'm sure there's a lot of you that might be going through something similar right now. But remember, like I said, don't fret. It's all part of the process. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, Hassie, I see all these top players with a plethora of characters in their back pocket. Why can't I be the same? Short answer, you can. Not everyone is the same, and each of our processes will look entirely different. But you have to know, with all the aforementioned, learning twice the amount of characters will take twice the amount of effort and time. And you have to decide if that's worth it for you. Smash is a game that's chock full of choices and things to think about. I love booting up the game to play or watching the professionals, and every time that I do, I learn something new about how my character can play. It seems like every week I'm learning new ways to make Pikachu better. So next time you're playing, be sure to take these things into consideration to get most out of your playing experience. It'll definitely be worth it. Thanks for watching.